Welcome to So Very Easy. My name is Laura, and it is the beginning of April, which means it's the free block of the month from Quilting Confections called Shades of Gray, and it is a great block. Now, keeping with the theme of the gray and the blue, we have the one blue, a light, and two darks. With the blue, we are going to need four 4-inch squares and have them cut on the diagonal. You're also going to need some cornerstones, and they need to be at 3.5 inches, and just square those at 3.5 inches. 2 more blocks, and both the light and the dark at 6.5 inches, and you're going to cut those in half. That's all you're going to need to make the one block. So to start with, we're going to start with the cornerstones, and you will need to sew the straight edge onto the block, not that cut section. So you are going to have the two together. So take 4 of the triangles and sew them onto the center block. And then finger press towards the blue. Now you're going to find that you have a little bit hanging out on the one corner. You can just take the edge of the square and cut that off. The next we'll be sewing the other triangle on, and again it's one of the square sides. And you will be able to tell because you're going to end up making a triangle. And press that seam again towards the blue. You will have now a little bit more than 1/4 inch here, and you're going to trim off so that you have 1/4 inch. You're not going to cut into the black, just out the 1/4 inch. There are a lot of different rulers you can use, but if you have a ruler that has a 45-degree angle on it, that 45 is going to sit along this edge. Put the 1/4 inch right on that intersection and trim off any extra. The next we'll be taking the larger triangles and sewing them onto the blue units. When you put that triangle onto the blue unit, you're going to notice that you have a little around the outside. That's fine because you're going to be able to trim this down. So just center the triangle and stitch 1/4 inch all the way down. And if you stitch from the back, you're going to be able to get right into that 1/4 inch intersection. You now have 2 with the dark and 2 with the light. The block needs to be squared up to 5.5 inches. The easiest would be able to use a square ruler that has a 45-degree angle on it, because that 45 angle is going to go right along that edge. So you have the 45 along the seam, and you're going to go over 1, 2, and 3/4, and you'll be able to trim off the extra. And when you've cut off that first edge, you're going to be able to turn the ruler, match up the 5.5 inch mark on the side that you already cut. You're going to be able to trim this off, and you will notice that you have 1, 2, and 3/4 inch into that block. And now we have 4 perfect 5.5 inch blocks. To sew them together, it's very easy. These solid triangles are going to go in the center, and this is how your block is going to look. So you're going to be able to sew these 2 units together, those units together. Press one seam going in one direction, the other seam going in the other, so both the seams are going to go towards the dark. And because the seams are going in opposite directions, you're going to be able to put this together and stitch 1/4 inch. And that's going to nestle together. You will now be able to just pull that seam apart so that the seam is now going to go towards the light. But that is going to open up that seam, and when you press it, it's going to remain nice and flat. And that is one finished block. Now let's remake this block. You're going to need 4 fabrics, just like you did the original block. I like a dark, a light, and 2 mediums, because we're going to make a table runner. So I've made enough for 3 blocks. So I have 6 of this unit and 6 of this unit. Now you can sew them together in the normal way, or we can try different combinations. Here's one combination, another combination, another combination, and still another. And when you're going to do a table runner, you're going to have them go long so you can do even more combinations. So here's a combination that sort of doesn't even look like it belongs together. But when you make more than one of these units and sew them together, you get a very interesting pattern. Using the same fabrics, put on a very simple border, and I'm going to put one border on of each color. I'm going to start by putting the border on the top first and then the one on the side. And I'm going to do this to all three borders. I'm going to start with my lightest one. Then I'm going to go with one of my mediums. Same thing, border at the top, border down the sides. Then I'm going to put in the black so that it separates my two mediums. And then the last one, I'm going to put my medium on. So the borders range in different size, 1 inch, 1.5, 2 inches, and 3 inches. And we have one finished quick and easy table runner. So from this block to this table runner, and it went together very quick and easy. I like to take single blocks and cut them up in my scrap fabrics and make more than one, just like I did this table runner. It gives me an opportunity to try a different layout, and rearranging things, well, it's amazing what you can come up with. Add a couple of borders and, well, you're all set to go. I'll put a link in the description to the free pattern from Quilting Confections. Thank you for joining me today on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe, and as always, come on back. Let's see what we're sewing next time in the sewing room. Bye for now.